Oh, hello, and welcome to today's Decay. We're celebrating births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time, February 15th, one day closer to Halloween. Today, nope. Today, in 1882, John Barrymore was born. I was trying to find this biography book of his I have here somewhere. I don't know. Doomed in Paradise or Damned in Paradise. It is a phenomenal book, and it's actually what inspired me to get into live theater, the Phantom Creep Theater, and Silver Scream's book show before that and everything, and just the whole ethereal nature of the actor to audience live experience is magical and like very fleeting. And part of that's to say that like, okay, there's films of his that exist, Svengali, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, a bunch more, but he didn't care about these things. I don't know that he cared about anything, actually, but as far as his career goes, his legacy, really where he struck gold was with his Macbeth and Richard III live on Broadway, where he just like rewrote the rules of what it meant to perform on stage, to do Shakespeare on stage, to leave your house in any condition to be out amongst people in that, okay, so in the 20s you have flappers, right? But like what's the male equivalent? There isn't like a type of person, I guess, or like a movement. The movement is John Barrymore. He was truly the first James Dean, or one of, or like of the James Dean mold, where this was like the rebel who just said like, oh, it's the Victorian era's here and we need to all be like very uptight and polite, and he's not going to do that. He's going to get blind drunk, take off all his clothes, and throw food at passerbyers. That was what he did, and people couldn't believe what they were saying. The book is great, unflinching, really sad, takes place a good part in New York City, and highly suggest it. Dinner at 8, right? Dinner at 8? No, Grand Hotel. Has he eaten both of those? Probably, right? Doesn't matter. Point is, the book and his life force is really captured in this story. So, yeah. Go read that book, wherever it is. What else today? Excuse me. 1926 today, Benjamin Christensen of Hacks on Witchcraft Through the Ages fame. You like that creaking floor? It's very atmospheric. I pay extra for that. Yeah. Benjamin Christensen's The Devil's Circus premiered today, 1926, starring Norma Shearer. Here's a photoplay novelization. The movie still exists. It's not a horror movie. Unlike a good deal of his other films, he was definitely a horror film genre director who kept going back to doing The Haunted House, which is a lost movie, Seven Footprints to Satan, which is not a lost movie and really worth seeing. He was involved with Mysterious Island, but left because the production company and Hollywood in general he wanted nothing to do with. Hacks on Witchcraft Through the Ages, obviously. So in this one, it starts off with like this devil overlooking the globe, like as if it's like a puppet master or something like that. But it's just a really great circus movie from 1926. I feel like I've sold it, and now I'm gonna move on. Big Joe Turner's Shake, Rattle, and Roll premiered today. No, recorded today, 1954, not premiered. I mean, is there a better dance song? I don't know. I have a very soft spot in my heart for Big Joe Turner. This is just like perfect rock and roll driving music. Love his accent. It's like a Jersey City accent. And a friend of mine, well, an acquaintance of mine from many, many years ago, Anthony from Four on the Floor, is that right? I forget the name of his band. He also ran a record store, and his uncle was Freddie Froggs, who is like the reason why there was a New York City rockabilly scene in the late 70s. Why there's not a documentary on Freddie Frogs, I don't know, but there ought to be. Anyway, Anthony went with Freddie backstage, saw a double set of Big Joe Turner in the early 80s, maybe late 70s, I think early 80s. And the story was that when Big Joe got started, like in the 30s, he was a bartender shaking drinks and stuff in like big grand dance halls, and he had such a loud voice that he didn't need to be mic'd, and he would just like belt it out with the band playing in the front of the room and him like mixing drinks and in the back, which like, of course the acoustics is completely opposite and this shouldn't be working, right? But it's just that loud that it worked. So fast forward 50 years, and Anthony goes and sees their first set. Freddie Frogs knows some people, gets to like go backstage and meet him. You know, old man, let's do this now or never. And Big Joe Turner is really nice and appreciative that they're like there to like say hello. And he's like, it's great to meet you guys, but I'm getting older. You know, he's been performing for 50 years at this point. I gotta run home and get my microphone for the second set. They saw him the whole first set and didn't even realize that he wasn't mic'd. That was like how loud Big Joe Turner still was in the early 80s. And I remember him telling me the story maybe 10 years later at his record store, just being like, this is ancient history, and yet now even that was ancient history on top of that. So now you know, and you can tell your friends and loved ones decades from now the story of Big Joe Turner. What else? Oh, big day today. Meteor Madness went into general release with the film Dance Craze today in 1981. Why is this particularly cool? There was no MTV. There was no real rock and roll radio shows, or not much. What was the best way to get out there before you physically get out there is to like have a film and have it play all around the country, right? So that's what they did. And did it catapult them to stardom? I don't know, but there's Dance Craze, the soundtrack to the film, the ska two-tone thing. And then here's Meteor Madness, which is what the film in part entails. So there you go. It's a good day to be a Meteors fan, and a John Barrymore fan, and a Benjamin Christensen fan, and a Big Joe Turner fan. February 15th. Won't you join me for another day closer to Halloween? Until tomorrow. Goodbye.